Hello, this is my first video ever that I'm putting out there. My name is Nigar Samed-Zade. Um, I'm born in Azerbaijan and I've been raised in Denmark and Spain and lived some of my years in Azerbaijan as well. The last time I was living there, I was working. Um, I was mainly working with film. I did um, a couple of art projects as well while I was doing there, and generally in my life I've spent doing many different things, mainly focusing on being creative, right? So it's 3 years ago when I lived there. I um I was shooting a film um by myself, and I really I really enjoy that experience. It was also a very tough experience because I was very new in the city and I was just getting to know myself again, I felt like, and I was also getting to know my surroundings, and a camera really helped me in that process. So I ended up like filming a documentary that was kind of almost being taken over um, by somebody else, but that's a whole different story. Which, yeah, it's a long and different story, but that like kind of led me to this time for the fifth time I think in my life to move back to Copenhagen and like kind of pursue my own things independently, like not having to be dependent on anyone, doing the things that I want, and like mainly in film because I was completely like new to um, this whole scene, getting to know everything, and I I I had basically a lot of filming material that I didn't know how to use, and I didn't want to work with the people that I knew before or that I was working with before. So I came here and I ended up in going to a film uh, school itself, which was also an experience I might want to like refer to some other time. And basically, like that's been my background. I ended up like it took me like 100 years to finally mm, like make a small, I think 7-8 minutes documentary type of thing. I've had mixed feelings about it, but I'm just happy about that is done, and I still would like to work with other things. But while I was there, so this story is going to, I was meeting a lot of people, a lot of artists, um, and I had very different experiences um, of how it is to actually be in this like modern type of life in Azerbaijan, where you are a part of some kind of movement. Um, it made me very excited to be a part of it, and I really wanted to like emerge in the um, in the city and the people and getting to know new people. I met a lot of interesting people that turned out to be not so interesting in the end. But that's also a whole different thing that I might refer to another time. But amongst all of that, while all of that was happening, I met another filmmaker. And this filmmaker, some I remember this very vividly because I just generally have a photographical memory and of things. I remember things very well, which is not always a good thing. But I was like, we were standing in the street, and he was talking about some film he was doing or he wanted to do. I don't remember exactly. And that he wanted me to be a part of it, etc., etc. And I said, yeah, sure. And a lot of people were like interested in me at that time. And I don't know what actually happened, or I don't remember if I declined or if I said yes. Actually, I'm not sure, but somehow it just never happened to be. But then, I moved here and everything, and then I just, after some while started remembering like everybody I was in contact with before. So, and somehow I had this guy on my Facebook, and I think we have been writing like two, three times ever since, like during like these 3 years, right? And I don't really know what it's been like, hey, how are you? What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Ha ha ha. Some weird, like, very like strange communication, but um, I don't mind. Like, nothing, sometimes nothing of a substance, but um I was thinking, okay, weird, like art artsy fartsy filmmaker. And I think he ended up at some point winning some kind of title, um that I might like, you know I don't know the exact situation. I haven't bothered to research everything. I just remember things vaguely. um and yes, and I had uh, we had like, we kind of knew who each other were. And what happens is that um he writes to me, he writes something to me, and I respond. And at that point I have had a fight with someone, and I was not feeling like my best. But that's kind of beside the point. I was just kind of laying there, and I don't know, I just decided to kind of write back, and we're going back and forth. It was kind of like I was like feeling, I wasn't feeling that well, as I said. So the conversation was very much like, I think it was something around like, how are you? And I said something along the lines like, I'm never good, or I don't know. It was a weird like depressing kind of like back and forth. And but I don't know. And then it started to like kind of be fun, because like, I don't know, it was like he was telling me some things anyways. And then I asked him like, so what are you working on? Are you working on some films? Because I think I have asked him before, because I've always been thinking like, I wonder what other people are doing, and I would like to do something with from Baku. I would like to work with people from Baku. I would like to do a film in Baku. I would like to do all these things. And I thought it would be cool to do like something with somebody else. And so I asked him like, so are you doing anything? Are you up to any projects lately? And he's like, yeah, I'm doing something, blah blah blah. And I said, okay. He asked me, and so I'm like, but and I said, no, I'm actually not doing any film right now, but I would really like to do something, and it would be cool. Like, we could do something if you're serious and you're down. Like, I don't mind. And I'm like, maybe we can make a phone call and talk about it if you're interested. And then I said, it's very late. I'm very tired. Maybe now is not the time to schedule it, but maybe we can do it tomorrow. But then again, it doesn't matter, because I didn't know if I was gonna feel good like today. And then somehow yeah, I think he asked me to call him, so I called him while I was like kind of sleeping. And I kind of had a weird feeling about this, because it was like very late, and I was thinking we had kind of like an absurd like conversation. So I thought maybe he was drunk, or maybe he was, I don't know what he's doing, right? But then I thought, you know what? I'm just gonna, like, there's no, if it's meant to kind of happen, like, it's gonna happen and I'm gonna feel good about it. But I had a sense that I was thinking, like, maybe it's not the right time, maybe it's better, it would make a better impression, or blah blah. And then at the same time I was thinking, like, why do I need to, like, make a good impression or whatever? Like I feel like if whatever time it is, whatever is going on, like, I'm just checking out the situation, right? I'm gonna just feel out the situation, like, hear what he has to say, and if it doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel right, or maybe it's not a good time or whatever. I'm just gonna go with the flow, and it, like, yeah, as I said, if it's supposed to happen, it's supposed to happen, kind of thing. And so I think I call him and he doesn't respond, so I just kind of hang up and I'm just like, well, okay, whatever. And then he calls back and I pick up and he is talking in a very, like, it's almost hard to describe, but in a very, like, low, slow voice. Um, like, I just get a, like, weird, like, I just have a strange sense. Like, yeah, I feel like when you connect through, like, media, like, when you talk to, when you have a, like, phone call to someone, you you kind of enter an universe on the other side, right? Like, there's a sense of the room, there is, like, or a mood of the, like, you kind of, and it's an international call. It's on Facebook, but, like, where he is, I think, in Germany. I don't know, I'm vague about the details, but he's somewhere far away, I haven't seen him. And I'm just wondering, like, what kind of, like, what's going on, like, it's just like, it's like a strange thing to be kind of communicating this way, especially with someone that you don't really know. So I feel like I'm entering this like this his universe, and it feels just strange. Like, I feel like I'm being met, like, in a dark room with, I don't know, it sounds weird with this imagery, with, like, I don't know, it's like a very, very strange way of coming, like the way he talks to me. It's very, very hard to explain, but there's just kind of, like, I just feel like this, like, as if I'm entering a dark room with, like, smoke, and it's like, what the hell is going on here? And he's, like, kind of whispering to me, like, hey. And I'm like, hey, uh what's up? um and he's saying, what are you doing? I know it sounds strange, but it's gonna make sense in a while. And I say, nothing. I'm actually just lying in my bed, and yeah. And I just feel like he's talking in a very strange way, and I have this, like, kind of like a defense thing, because I always have a fear that of getting harassed in some type of way, like, either, like, physically or emotionally, like, in I like this sense of, like, men being, like, thirsty and out after me. um it it's I'm not the first or the last woman or the only or anything like that. I'm sure every most women experience these things. I think every woman has been through this, like, having a very, like, strange feel about some type of men. That was the feeling that I was having, right? So, and I'm thinking like, well, I shouldn't be scared because we're gonna talk about a project and what's wrong with, I could have been a guy calling him and, like kind of all these things. And I don't even consider myself like the typical girl, or I don't even consider myself, a woman or anything like that. I'm totally like non-binary, and I don't like, you know, it's cool. Like I just keep on like kind of saying these things to myself, and he is asking me what I'm doing, and I'm saying I'm laying in bed, and he is saying, "Okay, I'm outside the balcony," and he's talking in a very like low and kind of whispery, raspy voice, like I'm in the balcony smoking a cigarette. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I don't know. I'm like trying to keep it like, you know, like, cool. Like, okay. Haha. Because I just have a weird feeling. Or I'm paranoid. I don't fucking know. Like, at least I don't know for now. But then he asked me again. Oh, he says, are you alone? And I said, he he's whispering like, are you alone? And I'm like, yeah, I'm alone. And he repeats that. He repeats, if I'm alone, if I live alone, if I, what am I laying in bed and stuff like that. And I'm thinking like, what the hell does this guy want? Like, why is he asking me these things? And then he asked me, I've seen this guy maybe once or twice in my life. Like, have that in mind. And I don't know him like anything. Like, we're not even friends like that. And then he just we're gonna talk about this like film that we're both interested in making. And then his next question is, I can't even. His next question, I'm just like, I feel like I've been so violated to a point where I'm talking about it now, and it just makes me sick to even say it, because I feel like I have been completely, like, my boundaries have been completely crossed, and I'm just so disgusted with myself and with what's going around me. Like, I just feel like, what the hell? Why is this like yucky energy around me? Like, why? How did I get into this? Like, why do I, like, how did I not know? And like, and then at the same time, like, but these are the people that I like, that I have respect for, that are doing these amazing things that I'm proud of seeing and everything. Like, why are they ruining it for me? I'm like, and I'm just completely confused. I haven't told you what he said, but he basically proceeds to ask me. He says, "Are you horny?" And I'm just like, the fuck. And I was like, I was already in a bad mood, and I was just like, I just hung up. I was like, the fuck is wrong with you? And I just hung up, and I was like, the fuck. And then he started typing, like, what? Blah, blah, blah. And then, you know what? I'm not sure if he started typing me, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna call him back. Um, and like all this anger and hate and frustration that I had with my other conversation earlier that made me upset. I'm just, got, like F this dude, like I don't get one. Like Like who the he can't like who the hell does he think he is? Like he can't just come here, completely violate me, completely like lure me into some kind of to a phone call to talk about some film project, and now he's asking me if I'm horny. Like what the hell is wrong with this guy, you know? Like why, like fuck, like Harvey Weinstein, here we go again. Like what is going on, you know? Like did you seriously learn nothing from the whole Me Too movement and everything that was going on? Like have you been dead living under a rock? I don't understand how these people exist. They're among us. They're like my friend's friends. He could have been my friend. Like it's one little city. He's basically like one of the people that I hang out with. And I feel completely like disrespected, and just I feel like I'm completely like objectified. I've never like invited this guy to ever talk to me in that manner. We've never had a conversation like that ever before leading to that ever. I've never shown him any type of interest. I've never like of that manner at all. And generally I'm just a very like I'm very careful. I'm a very like sensual person. Um but I'm very careful of how I distribute that and how I deal with my energy, because many times a lot of that just like gets completely misinterpreted, and it just it leads to a situation where I feel harassed, violated, and completely like I'm out of control. Like I feel like I am not even worth like talking normal to. And I feel like the worst part about this, I feel like there are no consequences for people like that. You know, they live among people in Azerbaijan, and I know Azerbaijan is a little bit outdated with all these things, but yet again, like the people that I supposedly hang out with, they're not, they're all for like feminist rights, especially now, like um and I'm thinking like how is he even alive? Like, you know, how how have they not, like how has nobody ever dealt with this person? Why is he like winning Grammys or whatever he is doing? Like how is he, like why does nobody know about this? Like nobody, maybe I don't know people a lot, maybe I, but like it's just some kind of like it just surprises me that all of that yuckiness like exists around us. And just like I think it's like that unfortunately all over the world. But you know what pisses me off the most is to see that these people have social cycle circles. These people have jobs, these people have friends, these people have mothers, these people have sisters, cousins, like they have a family, they have a community, they live somewhere, they have a, like they you know, they are a part of this society. And I just have a really hard time understanding how they exist. Like, in what circle do these people exist? And in what circles or in which places do their does their like perverse, manly, toxic, um, like this, like weird, sexually charged, um, approach of like just I don't even know what to call it, like the way they're like talking to humans, to another human being. Like how can how is this allowed? Like how has why Who are his friends? What is like where does he live? Where does he exist? What does he know? Who is this person that he doesn't know that these things are not okay? That's my question. Like is where is this guy? Like how so you know I just I I'm just so angry. I'm so angry and I'm frustrated that I don't have words left to say, and I wanna fucking put out his name out there, you know? Um I don't even remember your name, fortunately for you. But you violated me. You lured me in. Um you lied to me. You sexually harassed me. That is emotionally fucked up for me. I'm going to therapy because of these things. You don't know me. You don't know anything about my life. I'm going to therapy. It's already ruined my life. Um, Men doing these things, and you're calling me and you're sexually harassing me. You are have no respect for anyone. You're like crossing people's boundaries. It's very hard for me to fucking even talk about. It makes me so sad and disgusted with myself and everyone. I just don't think these people deserve these titles that they have. I don't think these people deserve to be treated as non violators when they are violators, when they're taking people's, when they're making females scared of even like asking for innocent things, or like, hey, you want to co-work, you want to do this, you want to do that, like why does everything has to be about me without my consent? I never consented to you ever asking me something like that, or like it just, I want to say that it hurts me, but I almost don't want to give you that power, you know? I'm very disgusted, you know? I'm very, very disgusted that I'm still not over it, and I have a very hard time expressing myself now because it's disgusting, and what's more disgusting is that you end up gaslighting me and telling me that you didn't say that I heard wrong, that you didn't that's not what I was saying. He said, I didn't say that. I said, did you hear me? Or and then he started saying, are you traumatized? What is wrong with you? And then he started saying, oh, are you crazy? But that's okay, I'm crazy too, haha. And at that point I was like freaking out, you know? I was like, yeah, we're crazy, like let's just it's fine, let's just rape people and it's cool, ha ha ha. Everything is fine, like are you stupid? Like how disrespectful, and like, have you not don't you have a mother that's birthed you? Like, don't you have any self-respect? Don't you have respect to the mother that gave you birth, at least as a, I don't know her, but as a fucking symbol of that? Do you even know where you are in this world? Do you know who you are? Like, do you know what's going on with you? Why do you have to go get off to people like that? Go on, put yourself there. Nobody asked you to do that. You're violating people. You're mentally traumatizing them, emotionally traumatize me, mentally traumatize me, and re-traumatize me. And I can just not imagine that there's a person like you in the film industry doing that to people. If you're doing that to me, I cannot imagine what you're doing to people on your set. And I said these things to him in a very angry way, and he was completely gaslighting me. He was first pretending he didn't understand what I was saying, and then he was like, it was just a mess, and I'm just really, really disgusted. I really hope, like, please, somebody um, just watch this. And I don't even know what to ask for people, but I just, I honestly, I know if I'm, that it's always gonna be like, the sad part about this, like, this allegation or whatever you'll call it, it's gonna be like, no, I didn't say that, and it's gonna be a word for word, and then, I'm gonna be like, oh, this crazy person again, like all these other women that have been raped by, like, I think like over 1,000 women had to came out before, like, something happened to Harvey Weinstein. And like now it's like, I always feel like disgusted, like nobody's gonna believe me, nothing is gonna happen, and I'm just gonna see this person like rape 100 women again. And I just don't want this to happen. I really want to prevent these things. And I don't think he deserves a place in the film industry. I don't think he deserves a place anywhere but in the mental clinic. He needs he needs therapy, and there's nothing wrong with therapy, but there's something wrong with harassing women, and yeah, sexually and verbally harassing women like that. I felt super violated, and I think he should be held accountable. Call it an allegation or whatever, like allegedly, believe me, but I'm putting it out there. This is what I experienced. And if it's gonna take me as the first, or I don't know what he has done afterwards or whatever, but I'm 100% sure that this is what he said to me. And he 100% said that to me. I know that he's just lying, and he's scared because I said, the first thing I said after I hung up, I said, you know what, I'm gonna tell on you. And I don't know, I was very emotional, and I could have, like, I could have gotten evidence for this, but like, um this is my allegation, this is my word out there. Be careful, don't deal with this person. And if it's happened to you, like, come out, like, let's get this asshole out of there, like, or out of everywhere. Like, let's make him pay for what he's going around doing. He's harming women. And this is like there's so many things to say about this. This is a very emotional response to what happened, but this is essentially like people like him ruining it for a woman like us. And I don't think it's fair, and I don't think it should happen. So, yeah, I'm out. I said what I said, just putting it out there.